acquire the critical thinking abilities that would enable them to choose what suit their themes, what suit their subject matter. So in a web quest, you ask your learners to divide themselves into teams, to choose a topic, to generate questions, to go online to find answers for these questions while you are monitoring them, and then they can produce presentations and posters or essay writing later on. So the first stage of the project work is monitored by the teacher and done in the lab. Of course here, whenever we speak about technology, we are faced with the attitudes of teachers. Traditional teachers who have been, just adapting the same techniques for generations. I myself was, just taught by a traditional teacher, and her main aid was the blackboard and a piece of chalk. So sometimes it's difficult to convince those traditional teachers that it is no way that you adopt the same way. And I'm sorry that I'm lecturing now all the time. I hope you don't feel bored, but because I don't have time. Otherwise, it would have been more interactive. Now, here, what are the differences between traditional learning environment and, engaging learning environment? Now, in traditional learning environments, we usually address individuals, and usually learners work by themselves. Whereas in the other engaging environments, you divide your class into groups, and they work in groups. This is a very important issue, teamwork. Are we as Arab learners accustomed or trained to work in teams or in groups? When we come to reality, you feel that it's difficult because you feel that there are some members of the group who are dominating the others in the group and so on, and this is another theme, of course. Now here, in the traditional learning environment, the teacher is the main source of knowledge, and of course whatever he says is right, no negotiation, no interaction. He is just delivering his message and the others are just silent and receiving the information, whereas in the engaging environment, the students are participants, they can get knowledge from online resources, they can share, and they can have a say. And of course, whatever your knowledge is high, you need the opinions of others. And I usually express that to my students and even to my son. I say, I usually learn from you because they have different, perspective. This is a very important slide.
3 minutes.
3 minutes only? But we are only 3 presenters. Can we have just 7 minutes? Because I have to display the results of my research.
You carry on. If you overrun, that's your professional decision. Carry on.
But nobody arrived.
But we don't know.
Let's ask the audience.
And the audience might want to go to another session after the 3 of you.
Okay. Okay, now these are my recommendations. That after I've done the research in which I investigated the attitudes of teachers towards the implementation of technology. In fact, they expressed, as you may see in this graphs, they expressed quite positive attitudes towards the use of technology. But to achieve such, compromise between all parties involved in the teaching learning process, we have to have a kind of alignment between the 4 parties involved. First of all, we have the teachers. They have certain, expectations. They have certain potentials. The students also, they have certain potentials. The parents have certain dreams. And when we come to the educational institutions, they have certain vision objectives which are usually framed into a policy and decision making. Now, I'm asking for an alignment between the 4 parties in which we can provide teachers with possibilities and opportunities to have a say in decision making and provide the students with challenges that suit their abilities, graded, and here I refer to differentiation. And then with the parents, they should have the options to have a say, and then for the educational institution to have priorities. And of course, such feedback, accomplishment, support will provide adjustment for the educational institutions and will have better output. Now, the main challenges that face the implementation of technology is the digital divide and the generation digital divide. I don't have time to talk about this. But finally, I asked students, do you feel that in the future there will be teachers? And they said that the classroom might differ in size, shape, or organization, but there will be always an instructor to guide our steps. Such concept reminds me of Bill Gates' famous saying, technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important figure in the classroom. So technology can enrich the learning environment with tools that extend the possibilities of communication between teachers, learners, and the world. Teaching positive attitudes towards educational technology can ensure the success of the implementation of classroom. Henry always said, one's destiny is never a place, but rather a way of looking at things. Finally, I can say, which is more important, technology or teachers? And the conclusion is educational technology, as the term implies, combines the two elements of machines and the human factors that keeps to education its valuable core of morals, discipline, and makes it the art of living. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then, would you like to entertain questions?
Yeah. Yes.
I will have a question that is a little provocative. Please excuse me. But I see some contradiction.
Yeah.
When you put in comparison traditional learning